in the apprehension of the two last remaining at-large inmates. I do want to say a great thank you to the partnering agencies that have worked endlessly to make this arrest happen of the first 8. And we have with us today, of course, State Police, ATF, U.S. Marshals, FBI, LSP, of course, and Homeland Security, and NOPD. So as Crime Stoppers, we have been, an active participant in gathering information for many years in the New Orleans area, in the surrounding parishes, actually for about 45 years. And this is a job that we take very seriously, and we also understand the sensitivity when someone reports someone that they know personally with regards to a crime. And since the escape, Crime Stoppers has fielded close to 700 tips with regards to the information on the 10 inmates. We actually, at the peak of this, had to add 4 additional lines to accommodate the calls to the call center, the Crime Stoppers call center. And I want you to know that we vetted every single tip, prioritized them for the delivery to our lead agency, Louisiana State Police, and the other agency partners that stand with us. We know that we have been told tips assisted in 3 arrests of inmates. In the first tip that came in that led to an arrest, actually the team, the incredible work by this team, that arrest came within 30 minutes of the tip. I can tell you that 3 tipsters will be paid rewards. And again, it's by the work that's been confirmed from the information the community provides from law enforcement. I can't thank enough the LSP Fusion Center, the individuals who we work with, the call takers, who we passed every single tip by. I also can't thank enough my staff and our call center for keeping, staying the course. We know that tips from the public plays an incredible role, and we also appreciate that we have the trust coming to Crime Stoppers for those tips. But our work is not done. With 2 remaining inmates, our board, our organization, wanted to stand firm and encourage anyone who might have intimate knowledge of the whereabouts of Mr. Massey or Mr. Groves not to wait, but to contact us immediately. To kind of put a little meat behind that, we wanted to let you know that Crime Stoppers today has increased its reward for information that leads directly to the arrest of each of these individuals, up to $20,000. Now with Crime Stoppers, we are combining with the ATF, making the reward significantly higher. And you are eligible for the Crime Stoppers reward by contacting us directly. With Crime Stoppers, you're going to remain anonymous. It's our standard protocols. And we truly hope that with this increased amount, if you have personal knowledge of the whereabouts of these individuals that can help law enforcement make that arrest, to contact us. And again, we can't say it enough, with Crime Stoppers, you will remain anonymous. Now I'd like to have the ATF speak up.
All right, thank you. Hey, good morning. My name is Joshua Jackson. I am the special agent in charge for the ATF New Orleans Field Division. As New Orleans has heard me said in other communities in Louisiana, ATF's priority mission is to prevent, reduce, and solve violent crime. In this particular response, this is preventing additional violent crime from happening to our citizens in our community. The 10 escapees definitely had violent criminal histories, and they definitely were it had a lot of impact on public safety within the communities that we serve. I want to pull the curtain back a little bit and kind of give some acknowledgments and some thank yous to our partners. First, LSP, leading this investigation. Colonel Hodges has been instrumental in coordinating efforts and keeping all of the federal partners and local partners engaged and aware and appraised of what's going on. This investigation has stretched beyond the borders of Louisiana. Also want to give a lot of acknowledgement to our federal partners, and that's FBI, United States Marshal Service, and HSI. HSI, NOPD, and ATF, we have a task force that works in the city. You guys might recall when we did a press conference speaking about the crime drop, the violent crime decreases within the city of New Orleans, and we talked about this task force. This task force is led by New Orleans Police Department Special Operations Division Tactical Team 2, ATF and Homeland Security investigations. This team has been instrumental in this response. This task force is the one that comes out, and they do investigate violent crime in all capacities, to include this fugitive apprehension. They've been instrumental in conducting search warrants, interviews that have directly led to the arrest and capture of some of these escapees. The last acknowledgement and thank you I want to give to the public and the community at large. You guys have been instrumental in providing tips and working with us to help keep you safe. We're not at the finish line. We still have 2 more to go that we need to capture and bring back and put back in custody, as they do pose a risk to public safety to all of us in the community. I also want to reiterate to firearm owners, we want to make sure that this is already a dangerous situation. We want to make sure that firearms are secured in your vehicles. We don't want any handguns, rifles that are unsecured coming into the hands of these two individuals who are still outstanding. Also be vigilant in your home. Make sure your firearms are secured throughout the area until we get these 2 individuals back into custody. So thank you to New Orleans and the greater Louisiana area for your assistance and your help with this investigation. I'm going to turn it over to Chief of the United States Marshals.
Good morning. I'm Walter Martin. I'm the Chief Deputy with the U.S. Marshals here in New Orleans. I want to start by thanking several groups. I first want to thank Darlene and Crime Stoppers, GNO, for not only increasing the reward, but for also her partnership and everything that they've done behind the scenes to assist not only the U.S. Marshals, but my law enforcement partners that are standing here. And their support with the community has been phenomenal. I would also like to thank the men and women you see standing here with me today, but more importantly, the men and women that are behind the scenes working hard every day. Ever since the escape occurred, they have been tirelessly working, dedicating their time and giving up, sacrificing their personal and professional time to work on finding these escapees. I also want to thank the public for their support, not only of law enforcement, but for providing the tips and the information that is needed to find the escapees. More importantly, I would like to echo what Colonel Hodges has been telling you guys from the start, as well as what our leaders have been saying, that we need the community support. Continue to provide the tips, send them to Crime Stoppers, send them to the ATF, to the FBI, to the Marshal Service. We are vetting those tips, and we're using that information to catch the individuals. As you have seen thus far, we've captured 8 of them, and we plan on catching the remaining 2. If you know something, say something. Please contact Crime Stoppers, ATF, the Marshal Service, FBI, and thank you for your support. Now I'd like to introduce FBI Special Agent in Charge, Jonathan Tapp. Thank you.
Good morning, folks. Thank you, Chief. I'm Jonathan Tapp, Special Agent in Charge of the FBI here in New Orleans. Today marks day 13 in our search for escapees Antoine Massey and Derek Groves, and we want you to know that we will find them. The FBI remains committed to supporting our law enforcement partners to recapture these dangerous inmates. The FBI has utilized every resource at our disposal to locate and apprehend the remaining 2 fugitives. Agents and analysts have been working every day to ensure that credible leads are pursued with urgency. And that's not just here in New Orleans, but across the country. What we need from you, the public, is to continue to give us leads. If you think you've seen either of these men or have any information, call 911, call Crime Stoppers, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. You can submit a tip at fbi.gov/New Orleans fugitives, but please report any information. We're also announcing that we, the FBI, are increasing our potential reward per inmate, Massey and Groves, from $10,000 to $20,000 with our partners. We want you to know the FBI handles every lead with discretion, and we do our utmost to preserve anonymity. But sometimes this is difficult. We understand with our law enforcement partners that some of you might be reporting a friend, a loved one, a relative, and albeit not easy, it is critical to your safety and the safety of the public that you report that. Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Colonel Hodges.
Thank you, SAC Tap.
Good morning, everyone. 2 weeks in, and our mission remains unchanged. In locating and apprehending the remaining fugitives is our top priority. You see them on the monitor to your left, my right, and it shows 8 captured and 2 remaining. Over the past 2 weeks, strong collaboration with our Crime Stoppers, Darlene and her team, local, state, and our federal partners that you see to my left and right and behind me, have been with them, we've taken 8 of the 10 safely back into custody and transported them to a secure state facility in Louisiana. Additionally, multiple individuals who aided these fugitives after their escape have been arrested. I want to be clear. Anyone who chooses to help the remaining fugitives in any way will be arrested and prosecuted. The decision is simple. Assist law enforcement and potentially earn a reward, or try to assist these fugitives and go to jail with a potentially high bond. As SAC TAP said, we know their family members, their friends, but they are a public safety risk for you, everyone around you, and the entire state of Louisiana. You must do the right thing. With Crime Stoppers increasing the reward amount, now is the time to make the right choice. Turn in valuable information and help us bring them in safely and receive a reward. All contact information is available on our websites, our social media platforms, and can be shared again following this conference. This remains an evolving investigation. Things change. I want to thank our Texas DPS troopers who helped us Monday. I also want to thank our Baton Rouge City Police here in Louisiana who helped us also capture a fugitive on Monday as well. We'll continue to share updates with the public as more information becomes available. Please follow our social media pages and for the latest developments on what we have. Once again, this is a team effort. It takes all of us. That's why you have the New Orleans Police Department, you have the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, ATF, the U.S. Marshals, and even those who are not with us up here right now, our state probation and parole, our sheriffs in the neighboring parishes, and many other agencies, Harbor Police, our Orleans and Jefferson Levee District. All of those agencies are instrumental in working this operation around the clock. So please know that the public, once again, that we are working for you. It's for all of Louisiana. And as mentioned, sometimes these dangerous fugitives travel outside our borders. So we need everyone's help. If you're listening and you're in another state and you have a tip or another parish or another city, please contact us. This concludes our conference, and we'll take any questions.
When this manhunt started, we heard a lot about law enforcement, about being pretty confident the inmates were still in the metro area. We now know, 2 arrests in Texas, 1 in Baton Rouge. So, do you guys have any idea geographically about where Derek Groves and Anton Maxey are today?
So once again, we have some strong leads, but these remaining 2 fugitives, they have help, and therefore they move. And sometimes they move outside New Orleans, outside Louisiana, because they have help. And at this time, we're confident that we're closing in on the remaining 2 escapees, and that we should have them in custody soon. But law enforcement is patient, but more importantly, we're resilient. And although they're going to get tired and frustrated as they try to move around Louisiana or move around the metropolitan area, they know the walls are closing in, and very soon we'll have them in custody.
So you do think they're in the Louisiana metro area?
We're confident that we have strong investigative leads as to their whereabouts. But we still need the public's help, because as soon as we get one lead, then they relocate to another place, whether that's a home or business or public area, and the information is only as good as the public continuing to call Crime Stoppers, ATF, FBI, the State Police Fusion Center, the Marshal Service, HSI, NOPD, all the agencies here. You think it may be something incredibly small or you may be not certain, just make the call. Let us vet it. Let our team of professionals investigate it, And then it can ultimately confirm what we already know, or maybe new information that provides a different location if, in fact, they left from where we think they are right now.
Hi, Katie Royce with CBS News. It's something that's come up from our viewers around the country is concerns about, you mentioned loved ones, relatives calling in, making a tough call to provide tips. But some people are concerned, are family members conspiring with these fugitives to receive money, and everyone benefits from the escape? And the second question is, you mentioned 3 tipsters so far have been paid rewards. How much has each person received?
So I don't have those exact amounts because there's different agencies involved, but I think I'll let Ms. Costanza speak on the Crime Stoppers portion.
Okay. So for the Crime Stoppers portion, the available funds was $10,000, plus the ATF fund was included with that. And that's strictly on 3 different cases. And as far as rewards that's been paid, we've only paid 1 reward to date. The others will be paid shortly.
And as far as the
Yes.
alleged, conspiracies, concerns about family members benefiting financially from this escape?
Well, I think the bigger concern, and I'm not trying to answer your question, is public safety. If you're concerned about your loved one, I can't imagine what it feels like to have to call the police and say, my son is here, my brother is here, my cousin is here, but they are a risk and have proven that they're a risk because they were already incarcerated for charges, violent charges, and now they're escaped. And they have an opportunity to come to court and to, again, well, some of them just need to be relocated, and the census have already been done with the remaining 2. But with that being said, I think the public safety is the bigger concern, because once you leave outside of your home, you're around everyone else. And I think it would be unthinkable if these 2 individuals hurt someone else and you knew about it, you would feel really bad. So with regard to the money aspect of it, I just think it's the right thing to do. And if you receive a reward, that's outstanding. That's why we appreciate the partnership with Crime Stoppers. But it must lead to an arrest, and we just encourage people to continue calling. Yes, sir.
At the peak of this, 700 tips were coming in. Were tips starting to dwindle? Is that part of the reason why the increase in the reward for information leading to an arrest?
I would say that any time that more days pass by, the fugitives can have other opportunities because there's more people that can help them. And with regard to obviously the conference was to let them know that there's an increased amount because we know the importance of bringing these last 2 back into custody and the public safety risk. I don't think that the tips have decreased. We hope with these new reward amounts that they increase even more than what we've had. However, they move and they change. So the information that you call and provide is only good for a short amount of time. And therefore, we need additional leads and additional calls and tips to help the public. So I believe that we will get more tips, and that's, I believe, part of the plan. We appreciate our business community and those who are part of our Crime Stoppers board, Norman, who's here representing with Darlene as well, and our community that comes together as a whole, realizing it's everyone's safety is at risk here and not just one particular city.
And if I may, a quick follow-up. I know in the case of Mr. Van Buren, who was captured in Baton Rouge PD said that he appeared to change his appearance, his hairstyle. Are you all concerned that any of the remaining fugitives have changed their appearance?
Well, I mean, certainly, again, as more time passes, things change. People could change their appearance. We believe that we have good information, whether they change their appearance or not, but that's common amongst most fugitives. Obviously, they're going to change clothes. They may change facial hair, may change their hair on their head and things like that to put a ball cap on, different clothes and things like that. But we understand Baton Rouge was, and I just want to thank them again, Chief T.J. Morris and his officers for helping us, as well as Texas DPS and Colonel Freeman Martin, who provided 2 in Texas and 1 here. And yes, they sometimes change appearances. Y'all saw in the photographs. And I think they could change appearance again. So I think the public, if you just look at the photographs to your left up on that board and look very closely, probably not changing their eyes and their nose and their smile. So I would just focus on those things. And we're confident that family members and friends have seen them, know where they are, and could really reach out to us based on that and not be easily, how you want to say, distracted by a change in hair on the head or face. Okay?
The Orleans Justice Center, it's only a decade old. Obviously, there were some serious structural failings with the escape itself. There have also been a number of problems since the escape actually happened. I know the Sheriff's Office isn't here today, but can anybody else speak to why a decade-old state-of-the-art facility is in such shambles?
So our focus today on this conference is obviously to make the public aware that the reward has increased, and the reward is directly related to the apprehension of the remaining 2 fugitives and escapees to bring them back in custody. We're not going to comment on the jail or any conditions prior to. We're just looking forward. We have 8 captured. We have 2 more remaining, and that's what we need the public's help with. There'll be a time later that you'll be able to ask those questions, but this conference is specifically geared to those 2 fugitives who remain at large.
Mr. Arlene, can you just reiterate and walk us through, for people that want to bring in tips and see the image, what's the next step? And have tips help with those that were aiding and abetting, like finding out who was actually part of the fugitives escaping?
So I'll say that we've gotten tips on all different things. So we've gotten tips on certainly on the fugitives, where they may be, who they may be with. Certainly certain tips have helped and assisted law enforcement to make the apprehensions of 3 of the individuals. As far as the other individuals who are aiding and abetting, yes, we've gotten information from those folks. What we're telling you is that you need to go ahead and make sure that you contact us. You receive a tip number when you call Crime Stoppers. You're able to update your information, and believe me, many of these tipsters are. Send us the update. Send us what you're seeing on social media. All of that is, again, combined and vetted by law enforcement as they build, as they work the puzzle of this. But at the end of this, we will hope that one person, at least one tipster's information, will lead to that arrest. And with regards to the volume of tips, when we first started out, remember, we had 10 folks that we were looking for, then down to 8. Certainly that volume was affected by the number of individuals who were out there. We look at every individual as a case. So we're now down to 2. And I 100% agree with the Colonel that we're going to see an increase with this huge reward of people sending information. We want you to be part of the team. That's why we're standing here asking you to be part of the team and part of the solution. Thank you.
So can you say which 3 have been apprehended? Like, thanks to tips?
Yeah, we're not going to discuss that. Just know 8 are in custody at a secure facility here in the state, and then we have 2 remaining. But we just want to focus on those 2. If your question pertains to the rewards, will be allocated accordingly once they go through the protocols. Crime Stoppers has been in business for almost 50 years. They're very successful for a reason, because they pay on the rewards, which match an arrest, and they do it anonymously. So I think the public can feel confident that if the information that you provide does in fact lead to an arrest and a conviction, it will be in good position to provide our partners here, FBI, ATF, and Crime Stoppers, will provide those rewards. Make no mistake, they've been around a long time because they're resourceful, they're helpful, they're part of the community, and ultimately they pay those rewards.
What is the total reward amount now with both of these increases?
It's $50,000 per remaining fugitive with our partners here, a combination of Crime Stoppers, ATF, and the FBI.
Anyone over here? Fox?
You go first.
My question is, there's more than a dozen we know that have helped these inmates escape or after their escape. So have the people that you guys have talked to, has that started helping in this search for the last 2?
Well, I think it sends a message that if you assist or you help those who remain fugitives, that you will be charged and prosecuted. And I go back on what I said earlier, make the right decision, contact law enforcement or Crime Stoppers and our partners up here, and give us the information that we need to bring them to justice. The longer, if you help and you assist, you're just putting all of public safety at risk by doing that. And that we ask again the public to please contact us with the information.
All right, I have a question. As far as timing goes, we're heading into week 2 of this investigation. Does time help the remaining inmates, or does it help the law enforcement in terms of, it seems like they're just running around in circles at this point as you guys are picking up leads. But if we head into week 3, does it make it more difficult
I think it makes it more difficult for the escapees because they're tired, they're looking over their shoulder, they're running out of resources, and with the increase in the reward amount today, we're going to get more tips, which means we're going to close in faster, and therefore, I think the advantage goes to law enforcement, and we need the public's help to ensure that we keep that advantage. Thank you.
And is there any concern about them, I guess, trying to leave the country? I think that's
No, I don't think they have those resources, but certainly we have our federal partners here, and that's why it's beyond the city of New Orleans and the borders of Louisiana, and it's a collaborative effort amongst federal, state, and local law enforcement.
Do you at all believe that math and growth could be together at this point? Do you believe they might be separate?
We don't rule anything out, but we're not going to talk about ongoing, tactics and techniques and things and information that we have. It's just best that the public, if someone knows that they're traveling together, please call us. We would like to have that information.
All right, that concludes everything. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Cool.
I did all right. Thankfully, we had good actors.